Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Prof.
Ah, khabar
Apa
semua?
khabar, Prof? Sehat?
Okey, Alhamdulillah.
Selamat Hari Raya, Prof.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Prof
Ni,
ada kat mana? Kat rumah ke hari ni?
hari ni di rumah.
Ah. Thank you, Prof, sebab sudi terima invitation kita orang.
Terima kasih for the invitation for having me.
Ya, ya.
Check dulu sebenarnya audio jelas tak?
Jelas. On my side, clear. Super clear.
Clear? Okey,
Yap.
Alhamdulillah.
Hmm.
So kita nak mula pukul 10 eh?
Kita mula pukul 10. Kita tunggu little bit more time bagi participant lain masuk dulu. And then we shall
Ya.
start.
Okey.
Okay.
So kita standby dulu eh.
Okay. Alright, Prof.
Ada je ni.
All right. Right now we have 41 participants, 42 participants. Hopefully the rest will join later on. Um, all right. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to everyone. Special thanks to Prof. Karim for joining us today. Before anything else, let's begin. Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin arrahmanir rahim maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin ya rabbal alamin. All right. Uh, I believe that most of us here, we already well known with Prof. Karim. Prof. Karim is somebody that well known even in Malaysia itself, especially in our e-learning ecosystem itself. So there's no need much introduction about Prof. Karim. But I believe that it is best to be happy today because we have the professional, the how to say it, the founder of Micro-Credential itself to speak to us on how to design effective Micro-Credential, because I do understand that one of the first universities that adopt this Micro-Credential is USM itself. And then starting from there, Micro-Credential being used, the model being used by other universities to do all the other Micro-Credential in other universities. So today we're going to have a 2-hour session. Right now it's already 10:03 minutes. So during this 2-hour session, we hope that we can have a lot of Q&A from all the participants to understand about Micro-Credential, and also we're going to have a briefing session about Micro-Credential itself. So without any further ado, let me allow Prof. Karim to start the webinar session. Prof. Karim, the session is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Aizat. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, selamat sejahtera to all fellow colleagues, academics from IIUM. I suppose from both campuses, right? From Gombak as well as the other one in Kuantan. Thanks for this invitation. Thanks for having me. I think this is the third time that I'm sharing this credential for IIUM. The first one was physical probably 2 years, 3 years ago. Then the other one probably last year, I'm not even if not mistaken, online. And this another one. So I'm not sure whether this is organized by the same by the same center or group. Yeah. But anyway, let me first say something about just Dr. Aizad introduced me as an founder and expert in micro-credential. So I want to qualify that I am by no means an expert in micro-credential, and also not really a founder lah. I cannot take that recognition. Um, Basically, I'm just an advocate, a champion, someone who really believes that micro-credential is a game changer for education, especially in the context of higher education. So, because I personally believe micro-credential is a game changer, and therefore I advocate it, and I want to see Malaysia to be also advocating. I mean, higher education institution in Malaysia to take the lead and advocate, because if you really understand the what of micro-credential, and also why we want to embark on micro-credential. So this is my mission this morning. For those who probably, I'm sure many of you have attended some program on micro-credential, the one that I have given at for IIUM, and maybe from other speakers as well. Because micro-credential has been around, or at least I started talking about micro-credential now it started in 2019. So now 2024, at least 5 years. But in the earnest, we really talk about it. We have a lot of conversation, discussion, intellectual discussion about micro-credential in the last 2 years, perhaps 2022. Then only a lot of universities and institutions, as well as industry people, MQA, HRD Corporation, really talk about micro-credential and show a lot of interest and enthusiasm in the last 2 years. But what's the status now after a lot of talk? Because as usual, we keep talking and we keep discussing, and yet the real action on the ground is, to be honest, still much to be desired. So I think IIUM, perhaps you might want to take micro-credential to the next level. I don't know where you are now. I'm sure you are doing something, but my general observation, we are still not there yet. There's not many success stories that I can share with you today. We are very much at the early beginning, at the early part of micro-credential. Many universities are claiming that they are doing some form of micro-credential, but if you ask MQA will tell you there are a few thousands, I guess, I believe, at least more than 1,000, a few thousands of micro-credentials already registered on their registry. But let me say that those micro-credential are not really, perhaps those are so-called standalone micro-credential. But a true micro-credential should be actually part of a bigger qualification, meaning that when we design micro-credential, a so-called micro-credential, it should be part of bigger program, meaning that it will lead to some form of recognized formal qualification. If we just offer, let's say, a course or a module, and that is a standalone course, a standalone module. That's not really a true micro-credential. Micro-credential is always designed as part of bigger qualification, and always there is a learning pathway for the learners to achieve something meaningful, something tangible, in the form of formal recognition of their learning, in the form of it can be a certificate, advanced certificate, diploma, degree, even masters. So that's just to give some a big picture of micro-credential. We've been talking about it, but action-wise, there's not so much that I can see that I can share with you, the so-called success story. But I hope in the next 2 years we can start to see something more impactful, and we can tell the world that Malaysia is leading the way. Higher education in Malaysia is leading the way, and we are really doing micro-credential in a true sense of the definition and the aspiration of micro-credential. So with that said, let me share the screen now. So I'm using a PowerPoint today. And I'll be sharing the link for the participants to download the PowerPoint at the end of the session. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to take any pictures because I will share the whole set of PowerPoint. I have about 90 plus that I need to cover during the 2 hours. Of course, I will cover only the most important part that I think you need to understand. My mission today is actually because I feel that there's enough talk already, but maybe I'm assuming too much. Maybe many of you are still not really understand the concept, the aspiration, the why we want to embark on micro-credential. So I'll just kind of go through the normal way. But my mission today is to convince you that micro-credential is one of the something that we need to really do to provide more options for people to receive education from our university. It's basically scaling up. Yeah, think of micro-credential as scaling up, extending our education beyond our normal boundary, beyond the normal program that we offer. So I hope to share some of so-called best practices. Hopefully that you can adopt and adapt for IIUM. Basically, yeah, I forgot to mention that I'm no longer with USM, but I'll be using some example from USM because I started micro-credential when I was in USM. I've retired from USM, and now I'm part-time with UNITEN as a principal fellow. And now I'm helping UNITEN also to roll out micro-credential program. Now, these are some of the agenda, some of the aspects that I'm going to cover. Of course, the what and why of micro-credential at this point in time, actually, as I mentioned earlier, after like 5 years or maybe in the last 2 years, we expect that in terms of academia, people who work in the academia, they should by now understand what is micro-credential and why are we embarking on micro-credential. But I don't want to take for granted. I'm going to explain a little bit on this very briefly. And also the concept of micro-credential, the philosophy behind it. And more important is the concept of stackable credential. Remember, I mentioned that a true micro-credential should be designed to be part of a bigger qualification. There should be a learning pathway. You cannot just simply, offer a few modules and or courses, but these courses are not connected to each other. We can do that. That's why we call it standalone. But ideally, you want to offer bundles of courses or bundles of micro-credential modules that when we bundle together or stack together, that's why we have the stackable credential concept. It can be packaged together as one qualification. You can call it anything, it can be a degree, it can be masters, and so on. And the roadmap. So our title today is about how the institution will approach designing micro-credential. And this is where, from my observation, many institutions, universities, they just rush to start micro-credential because of maybe the pressure, looking at other universities are also embarking, everyone is embarking. So the pressure of the crowd, follow the crowd. So they just do the micro-credential. And then perhaps they can tell people, especially the management can tell, oh yeah, we are doing also micro-credential. But then when we look at what kind of micro-credential that you have, that it turned out that it is not, there is no strategic direction of that micro-credential. It's simply doing it for the sake of doing it. But what we need when we approach this micro-credential at the institutional level, we need a roadmap. We need a roadmap. We need a blueprint. We need a strategic direction. So there is a strategic part in the roadmap, and there's also the operational part. And this, to me, is the most critical thing that hopefully my sharing this morning make it very clear. The operational part, to me, I'm not so worried about the operational part. We can have like 2-3 days intensive workshop. Then after that, you can do it. The course developers can be trained and then acquire the skill, and then they can do it. That's the operational part. Some of the institution, from my observation, they just go straight into the operational part. The top management just give the instruction to the deans, to the head department. Okay, this year, we should have 50 micro-credential. And this, I'm trying to be very direct here. This is what I've been observing. The top management will tell their people, okay, some will tell, okay, each faculty this year, 3 micro-credential. So at the end of the year, we expect we have 50. They just look at numbers. They just go through the process and just doing it, but there is no strategic direction. So I will spend more time actually talking about the roadmap. Then, of course, there are challenges, pitfalls, some of the pitfalls. Don't get trapped into this. Don't make this mistake. Prospect and opportunities. Now, let's look at some statistic. And this the reason why we want to look at some of these figures, so that we can get a perspective of where micro-credential is going now and how is it doing now. So currently, there are 950 universities offering a mix of so-called MOOC, massive open online courses, and also micro-credential. So these are all mainly delivered through fully online. But just understand this, micro-credential can be offered not only fully online, but it can be also in the form of a mix of blended, we call it blended, right? A mix of online as well as face-to-face. It can be hybrid and so on. So the modes can be any modes of our choice. So 950 universities, but majority of the universities are actually in US. 180 million students globally have done some form of micro-credential. Currently 1,180. But this was, I think, up to what? This one in 2020. Maybe I use this older slide here. I think there was the latest one was 2022. Yeah? But this figure can give us some kind of ballpark, some ideas of how many courses are there in the form of micro-credential. 16.3 thousand, see about 16,000 courses already. 200, yeah, this one is 220 million students, 950. I think this one the later one. Yeah, this is 2021. The reason why I have this slide, I want to show you the progress from 2020. You can see this 2021, 180 million, 220 million, 1,619,000 courses. And yeah, we have up to 2021, the figure here. During the pandemic, actually, because people don't have much choice, so they go to, they find any online platform. So these are some of the popular ones: Coursera, of course, edX, Swayam. Swayam is actually Indian platform. FutureLearn. These are some of the so-called more popular platforms. So you can see from 2019 to 2021. On Coursera, 8 million, 31 million, 21 million. After the pandemic is slowed down. After the pandemic is slow down. So post-pandemic slow down here. But during the pandemic, this is the pinnacle, kemuncak of pandemic. So, but this is actually expanding very, very fast, because now with micro-credential, the idea of micro-credential is to provide more options and flexibility. For your information, MQA, I must give credit to MQA, because they are leading and facilitating micro-credential. So we have come up with 2 guidelines, and I'm also involved as the panel and writer for this guidelines to good practices micro-credential. This guideline can be downloaded for free. This one is actually the guideline for micro-credential from accredited academic program. Okay, this is for accredited academic program. So we have our academic program already accredited. So it's just a matter of modularize or unbundle the whole 120 credit, for example, into a series of packages and modules. So this the concept of modularization. Yeah, that's micro-credential. The second guideline, which was launched only recently, guideline to good practices quality verification of standalone micro-credential. So this is standalone. So we can have actually courses and modules that is not part of the bigger academic program. And this can be anything, and designed for purpose of upskilling, reskilling, and so on. But can you imagine when, let's say, everyone is embarking and developing micro-credential, the issue of quality and quality standardization, they will become important. So the idea, the objective of this this guideline is to create some form of standardization and benchmark to ensure that all the micro-credential, standalone micro-credential would have a minimum quality standard. So because we want to make sure that when people take the Micro-Credential, they will get, because it's not free. Unlike MOOC, massive open online course, this is not free. So when you pay for the course, for the module, we expect to get the value for the investment, value for money. So that's the reason why MQA encourage the Micro-Credential or education providers, whether it's higher education or private training providers, to verify the quality of their Micro-Credential. So there will be a so-called QVC, Quality Verification Center, that will, meaning that MQA will outsource to this QVC to do the quality verification of the Micro-Credential from various providers. Okay, any like IIUM, if you are interested to become one of the QVCs, you can also apply to become the QVC. Okay. Now, when we talk about Micro-Credential, the philosophy behind it, we must understand this. If we want to embark on Micro-Credential, the big why would we want to embark on Micro-Credential? A lot of people ask me this question, as if we are not doing enough, as if that, there's so much on our plate that we need to do now. MOOC, then we have Micro-Credential. So to convince our people, our staff, academic staff, to embark on Micro-Credential, they must understand the big why. So it's actually about providing flexibility, meaning that now, think about all the academic program that you have at IIUM now. Who are taking this program? These are mainly full-time students coming through UPU, right? Full-time. Then you might have also maybe some open distance learning program, distance education, pendidikan jarak jauh. Maybe you have, I'm not sure. Okay, then what else? So meaning that the scope of your offering is that number, probably what, 10,000, 20,000, and these are mainly full-time students. And maybe you have some executive program and so on. So let's say for at any one time, the number of enrollment of your student probably, let's say 20,000, 30,000. I don't know what's the number for IIUM. Now, question: how do you want to scale up? So this is about scaling up. Yeah, how do you want to scale up your program so that now, instead of 10,000 students that you have enrollment at any one time, you can multiply that by a factor of 2, 3, 10. And now your students can come from all over the world. And through Micro-Credential program. And some of these people, probably they don't have time and maybe money to enroll for a full-time program. So this is where what I mean by flexibility, making the offering of our program more flexible, and therefore we can accommodate more students. We can provide more affordable program, more flexible to suit their time and so on. So that's flexibility and accessibility. So now we can expand our program, we can scale up so that people from all over the world, as long as they have reasonable, decent connectivity, they can take our program. So now we can scale up easily in the most affordable way. Affordability. So when we design our, let's say, big 120 hours program, credit hours, and we break it up into small packages, the student or the learners they can take any number of modules, 1 or 2 or 3 at any time, and they just pay for that particular module. And of course, will be much cheaper than having to pay for the whole program, for the whole semester. So that's where the affordability comes in. So this provide more options. There are a lot of strong reasons why we want to embark on micro-credential because of this flexibility, accessibility, affordability. Okay, I want to make this point very, very clear because if someone asks you why we want to do micro-credential, oh, we want to scale up our offering. We want to get more students from all over the world. We want to make it more flexible. We want to make it more accessible. So it's actually widening access to education, which is SDG 4, Sustainable Development Goal number 4. Okay, this is another important thing that I want to draw your attention here. Before embarking on this micro-credential or any program for that matter, you must be very clear of your value proposition. Or if you talk to business or marketing people, they use the term USP, unique selling proposition. I call it value proposition. What actually value that you want to offer through your micro-credential program? And you'll be surprised when you ask any university that are claiming that they are doing micro-credential, ask especially probably the people in charge or the leaders and so on, what is your value proposition? And they will be hard pressed to give a clear, concise answer. So basically, micro-credential is to provide upskilling, reskilling, professional development. Okay, but we can also do micro-credential for personal development, which is lifelong learning. So now, when you want to decide what kind of micro-credential program that you want to do, think about, okay, who are your target group? So what kind of what would this micro-credential serve for them, do for them? Oh, upskilling, reskilling. And for layman public, maybe we can do for lifelong learning. So remember, professional development, personal development. And therefore, by doing this, we can support the inclusive and flexible education. So a simple definition of micro-credential, which is available in our GGP, the MyMQA document. But let me just read this simply. Micro-credentials are defined as a short, stackable courses that learners, whether student, employees, or organization members, take to develop specific skills in their field. So it's actually very kind of narrow, specialized, modular. So the learning outcome for one micro-credential module, for example, is maybe just one skill or one kind of set of knowledge. They function as a way for individuals to continue learning and developing their skill set in addition to their core educational pursuits. So this is some of the main features or characteristics of micro-credential. Modular, okay, modular. So modules, we call it module, okay, are the building blocks of the micro-credential. So imagine like we have an accredited program, and therefore we have courses under the whole one program. Let's say one course, 2 credit or 3 credit, 14 weeks. So when the student register the course, they have to go through 14 weeks. Okay, they have to go through the 14 weeks and do all the necessary thing in order to get 2 credits or 3 credits. But in micro-credential, the concept of modular, we modularize. We can break down the 2 credit course into smaller module, and each module should be designed in such a way that it can stand on its own. It is standalone. So a 14-week course can be divided into several standalone segments, each between 1 to 4 hours. This is just a rough guideline. Each module can have several bite-sized lessons, 5 to 10 minutes. This makes learning more manageable and the price more affordable. So from the two credit course, you can actually break it down into like a 4 module. So 4 module, 2 credit, maybe each one, if you divide equally, so maybe about 0.5 credit per module. And each one will have a so-called micro learning outcome. But when we put together, it will map to the bigger learning outcome for that particular course. And when we have several courses designed in such a way, in such a manner, in similar way, so this is where the concept of stackable, when we put together all the modules, finally it will align and map to the full program. So that's a concept of stackable. So by doing this, actually, we can offer this a series of module which we can package into several packages. Each one will lead to, let's say, certificate level and so on. So we provide a flexible learning pathway. Learners have a choice to take only several modules from a bundle of modules that make up a complete course. Alternatively, they can take all the modules to get, say, a full certificate. I will illustrate this with a diagram and so on in a while. So this flexibility allows learners to get their own learning pathway. In other words, learners have total control and take full responsibility of their own learning. And this is where the flexible comes in. Learning on demand, okay? Learning on demand. Because now students can decide. They have more freedom to decide when they want to take it. The pace, if they are busy, probably they will take longer time to complete because it's based on competency based. Yeah? Learning on demand. Flexibility of micro-credential allows learners to learn just in time, just enough, and just for me, become more personalized. People can arrange the schedules for their personal or professional development according to their convenience and scale up the learning when needed. For busy working people, being able to schedule the learning is a boon. And it's competency-based, meaning that regardless of how long they take to complete a module, as long as they have completed everything, they have done all the assessment, they have submitted all the projects, everything, that's the evidence. They must produce evidence of their competency. And for example, most micro-credential in the form of skill-based, yeah? They must show that they have achieved that skill. For example, if they take a module on programming, okay, on let's say learning Python, so they have to work on a project using the skill that they have learned to do the Python programming and produce something meaningful. So that's a product, and that's the evidence that they have acquired the competency as set out in the learning outcome for that module. So it's competency based. Learners choose a topic of interest, choose how to learn, and then demonstrate mastery. Learners may be required to provide evidence of mastery or competence by submitting some form of assessment, such as test, mini project, presentation, portfolio, and so on. So, upon completion, learners will get a digital badge as a form of credential. So this is why we call it micro-credential, because it's based on micro-learning. It is based on a smaller module, and then a shorter time, and at the end they will get credential. But we call it micro-credential, just like the student spend 4 years to take to get a degree. So a degree is a form of credential, but since it takes longer time, 4 years and 120 credits, so we call it macro or macro credential. So now you have macro credential, micro credential. Okay. But it is a credential. So a lot of information can be embedded. So the digital badge is in the form of digital. So we can use blockchain technology to secure the data, the information. Since it is a digital file, the digital badge become like a mini or micro portfolio. Each of the digital badge, we can put in a lot of metadata. We can put a sample of a student's work, anything that we can put in, even a video, everything. So it become a standalone micro portfolio for the learners or for the student. And then these digital badges can be bundled together. So this is where the concept of stackable credential comes in. Bundled together to get a bigger or complete qualification. Okay, even up to the master's level as well. So I'm just showing the variation of the definition here. This from Deakin University. From this document, you can download for free, making micro-credentials work for learners, employers, and providers. So what are micro-credential? Micro-credential are mini qualification. So they use the word mini qualification. Or maybe we can call it micro qualification as well. That demonstrate skill, knowledge, and or experience in a given subject area or capacity. It is a much smaller kind of credential. So for example, I give the example just now, we take a certified software engineer from Google, or you take a network engineer from Cisco. Yeah. For example, my son, he takes a few of these certificate in the form of short modular learning, which is micro-credential. They don't call it micro-credential, but the concept is micro-credential. So his employer pay for the certification, and then they recognize that as the as part of the qualification. Then my son get promotion just by taking all these bundles of professional certificate from Cisco, from Google, from platform like Udacity, and so on. So they tend to be narrower in range than traditional qualification like diplomas or degrees. So because my son he worked as a network engineer, and the employer, they are not really interested for other kind of qualification, because they just want this network engineer to be better in their work. So this is for upskilling. So they encourage their staff to get more certificate, specialize on the skill, so that they can become better network engineer. That's the concept. Yeah. So this micro-credential is represented as digital credential that can be attached to your social media profile or to your CV. Clicking on them shows the learning outcomes attained, how they were validated, and by which organization. So how they were validated. So just now I mentioned about for standalone micro-credential, that is where the verification center, quality verification center, QVC, will play their role to verify and validate on behalf of MQA. If you have any question, please interject anytime. You don't have to wait until the end, or you can also put in the chat. But I'm not looking at the chat because I don't want to clutter my screen. So I will look at the chat later on. But if you want to ask the questions immediately, please feel free to unmute the microphone. Yeah. So just to give more on the definition, a micro-credential is a record of focused learning, focused learning, very specialized on one specific skill set, for example. Verifying what the learner knows, understand, or can do. What the students, not only what the learners know, what the learners can do, the skill. And industry now is looking more into this because they want their staff to be more, to have more skill, especially in the area where knowledge is changed very dynamically. The ICT, for example, includes assessment based on clearly defined standard and is awarded by a trusted provider, has standalone value. When we design the micro-credential program, every single module can be taken as a standalone. Yeah, although they are connected to each other to form a bigger qualification, but when we design it, and this is where the difficult part and very quite tedious, can be very tedious. We want to make sure that every single module is standalone. So if I pay like 200 ringgit for this 6 hours module, I can learn something useful that I can immediately apply in my work. It will add value to my current skill. Meet the standard required by the relevant quality assurance. So these are 6 characteristics of micro-credential. To me, a real or a true micro-credential should be designed, as I mentioned earlier at the very beginning, should be designed to be part of a bigger qualification. So although we can design as standalone, but as much as we can, those standalone module, let's say a bundle of 5 modules or 10 modules can be stacked, can be bundled together to form a complete qualification. So that's the idea of stackable. And then recognition in the form of digital badge or digital certificate. And we can design for lifelong learning, personal development kind of program. We can also design for professional type program. Usually very short, so that's why the concept of modular and economical. And they will get digital credential and to prove. So this is a competency-based kind of program, and the whole thing will actually design to give flexibility, affordability, and accessibility. Okay. So micro-credential is an alternative kind of credential, which would open new paths and new opportunities, especially for whom? For people who are now working, for people that for whatever reasons, they don't have the higher qualification yet. For example, managers in some industries, I know because we are working with this industry, they are already managers, managing all the various outlets all over the country. But actually, they reach that managerial position through rank and file. They started at the very bottom. They only have SPM. Okay, so this particular industry, they are very good. They want their staff to have a formal higher qualification. So they provide funding. So they work with USM to develop this program so that their managers can take this micro-credential program that lead to a degree. But they are working. They are still working, but they will take this micro-credential because it's flexible, designed to be very flexible. And all the managers, hopefully, will complete the whole learning pathway, taking the module at their own time and so on. Then after that, through the stackable concept, they will put them together, complete 120 credit hours to get a degree or master's or whatever, diploma and so on. So this is what I mean by providing alternative learning pathway, learners pursuing alternative pathway to academic qualification, diploma, degree, masters, and can earn credit. So this is credit-bearing program. It can be also non-credit bearing. It depends on what's the purpose of that particular micro-credential and who are the target group. Yeah. Okay. So alternative credential include certificate. Of course, we cannot use the term certificate. We have to
Suck
find
my fucking dick, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Suck my fucking dick, you motherfucking bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Bitch ass motherfucker. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. You fucking asshole. Motherfucker. You fucking asshole. Suck my fucking
That was
dick. Suck my
inappropriate.
ass
That was
fucking dick,
extremely
you
inappropriate, bro.
motherfuckers. You fucking piece of motherfucking shits. Fuck you.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Those out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm
What is
sorry.
that?
I don't know. He already left the chat room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Did
Sorry,
that something new? I don't
sorry
know.
about that.
Yeah.
Sounds very angry.
Sounds.
Can I continue?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So yeah.
Oh my God, what was that? I just got a shocking
Yeah,
voice coming on.
I was shocked also.
Everyone was shocked, Dr.
Very,
Shakur.
very horrible.
Yeah. Well,
Oh my God. I just logged out and then logged in again.
Yeah.
Whew,
So
scary.
are there outsiders?
I have no
Anyway,
idea.
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Hopefully we don't get interruption.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So okay. Now it kind of disrupt my okay. Now as I mentioned, MQA is helping and facilitating micro-credential. So now imagine this, why we again back to why we want to do micro-credential. This is important because I keep reiterating this point. Now, whatever that we do now through our formal academic program, these are for full-time students that come through UPU, right? So I think that's good. We can continue doing it. But then, I mean, remember I mentioned about scaling up, reaching out outside the formal qualification. And these are our target group now. We are looking at people outside our formal education. They are working, but these people, some of them are professional, and also those so-called lifelong learners. They want to get a formal. They want to learn more. They want to get. They want to do upskilling, reskilling. They want to get more knowledge and so on. So these are the people that we want to cater. We want to accommodate through micro-credential program. So I hope this very, I make it very clear. And then we have now FLA, FLC, FLM. These are accredited. FL stand for accredited prior experiential learning, and this by MQA. So this will provide the so-called credit transfer, but will provide alternative admission to the program. Those without having a minimum qualification, now they can enter through the degree program or diploma using FLA. FLA is for admission, FLC for credit transfer, FLM is for micro-credential. It's designed especially for micro-credential. So now we have the instrument. We have the instrument already. It's just a matter of making the program or developing the program and offer to this group. Yeah. So we have all this FL now. It can be confusing for those who are not familiar. We have FLA to address the issue of admission, FLC for credit transfer, FLM. These are where the stackable concept, stackable credentials just now, where we have bundles of modules that the students have completed. They can put together, and they can get a full formal qualification. and Apple Q. Yeah, Apple Q. It's okay. I think we don't want to go much through go through much about Apple here. Okay, I'll skip this one. Okay, you want to understand more, the justification why would we want to do micro-credential, for the benefits, yeah, because this is the why, yeah, the why. Benefits for individuals and also for organization. So for industry, for example, we can design our micro-credential program to address the skill gap. Okay, understand where skill gap exists and how to solve them. So this is one of the thing that before you embark on micro-credential, you have to do need analysis. Yeah, you have to do need analysis. Who are your target group? What are and what are the skill gap that you are addressing through your micro-credential? So, for example, I saw some universities offer micro-credential on Islamic banking, Islamic finance. Okay, so this to address the skill gap on this area in the banking, in the finance area. So you must be very clear. Ideally, you don't want to compete lah. If there are many universities already doing micro-credential on Islamic banking, then so you have to analyze the competitors as well. Okay. Provide rapid insight into ongoing professional development, build a culture of continuous learning for lifelong learning, become inspired to seek new skill. So micro-credential mainly designed for skill-based. So you can study what kind of skills are on demand now. And remember that when you design micro-credential, your target group is not confined to Malaysia. Yeah, always have a more kind of bigger aspiration. When you design your micro-credential, it will have demand also from different parts of the world. For example, one example that I can share here, in USM, the School of Pharmaceutical Science, you have pharmacy at IIUM, right? So they designed the CPD program for professional pharmacists, working together in partnership with Malaysian Pharmacists Society, MPS. Under MPS, they have 18,000 registered professional pharmacists. So they have rolled out this program now into a third year now. And now, somehow, the pharmacists from other countries, Philippines, Indonesia, and so on, they came across this program and they are interested to have this, but in different language, in their language. So the Middle East, one in the Arabic, the same program, but in Arabic. The Philippines, one in the Tagalog, and so on. So now with AI, the same program now can easily be created into another version in different languages. So, we go global now. All right, so remember I mentioned about digital badge, the concept of digital badge. For every module that the learners have completed, they can be awarded with a digital badge. And digital badge can be considered as a mini portfolio or micro portfolio, where they can show the evidence of what they have learned what skill they have acquired, what level of skill they have acquired. There's a competency. So that's why we call it competency based. Yeah. What happened to my webcam? My webcam pun pening kepala juga. And everything in the digital badge is secured. The data is secure because we can use a blockchain to secure the data, the privacy and the data. Now, a little bit about the concept of stackable credential. Because can you imagine if you look at this picture, yeah, the highest stack, the highest on the right hand side here, the books that form the highest stack, and then there is what call this? I forgot the motherboard here. That's basically the highest qualification, a degree, for example, or a diploma, whatever, advanced diploma, advanced certificate, as long as the name of the qualification is not does not we cannot use the same nomenclature as in the MQF, Malaysian Qualification Agency. Sorry, Malaysian Qualification Framework. So imagine this, the whole stack of 120 credits. Let's say this is a degree, yeah? 120 credit. So when we design micro-credential, we want to modularize it. So each book here can be considered as one module. And then this every stack here can be considered as packages. So this one is a smaller one we call it certificate, for example, consists of X number of module. This one another stack, this one another stack, it was another stack, this one the smallest stack. So this one certificate A, certificate B, certificate C, D, E, and when we put together all the stack, so this is stackable or bundle, it will form the full stack, which is a formal highest level of qualification. That's the concept of stackable. So each one of this here, each of the book here can be represented as one digital badge. And a stack can be represented as, let's say, a digital certificate. That's the concept. So if you understand this concept, then it's very easy to understand the whole thing when we come to design. And this picture will probably show you more clearly how the stackable concept work. Let's say in this case, master's program, 56 hours. Then we design it into a smaller stack. So this is a smaller stack. Each one of these will probably consist of X number of modules. Okay, so I think that's basically at this point. I have explained as much as possible, as much as I could, on the concept of micro-credential, the definition, the concept of stackable credential. That's the basic. That's the basic. And now let's say if you are clear on this, if there's no question at this point, I can move on to look at the bigger picture. If you have any question, please feel free. So let me check the chat at this point.
Yes, Prof. We have one question from Brother Zudin.
From chat.
Yeah, in chat. Assalamualaikum, Prof. A few questions
Okay,
here.
okay.
In context of Malaysia, is the design of micro-credential regulated by MQA? And if not, can IPTA recognize and validate the credentials for learners in case of stacking several micro-credential into bigger credential, for example, bachelor degree? Is it already an exercisable in Malaysia? I think you answer a little bit.
Yeah. I think I have covered some of this. Of course, we have the GGP, the guideline for good practices. We have two. If the institution design a so-called standalone micro-credential. Standalone micro-credential, it can come from the accredited program. It can come from non-accredited program, meaning that it is not part of the bigger academic accredited program. But how it is regulated? It's not so much of being regulated, but it is MQA come up with this GGP and then come up with a way to verify and validate the quality of the micro-credential. So this is where we have so-called QVC, the Quality Verification Center, to verify and validate the micro-credential based on the certain standard and guideline. So if any training providers if any trading providers come up with a micro-credential program, then they want the program to be recognized and credible, have the credibility. So I'm sure there's an incentive for them to be validated, verified and validated by this MQA, this QVC that on behalf of MQA. Okay. For the accredited academic program, the existing one is already accredited. So all they need to do now when we design, we just make sure that we have done a proper mapping and alignment, so that when we use the concept of stackable, when all the individual modules are stacked up together or bundled together to form the full 120 credit or 40 credit hours for masters and so on. Masters, kalau master like what, 90 credit hours, executive program like 40 credit hours, whatever. Kalau member dia ni. And it will map together. It will be mapped to the full program, and there is no compromise on the quality, student learning time, everything. All this must be in compliance to the normal accreditation process. Yeah. Okay, let me see.
I have a follow-up question regarding on that. Last time when
Okay.
I do a workshop with MCMC in cyber, there is,
MCMC.
there is a question during that session.
Okay.
Let's say there's one student taking micro-credential from 10 different universities. So when the student enroll to one university, he want to graduate from that particular universities. So is it possible for the transfer of that micro-credential? Sebab reason I'm asking why, because one of the person attending the workshop said that I won't allow that. He said I will ask the student to take again the micro-credential, because that is how my university make money, he said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, what's your take on that? Or maybe you can highlight a little bit on that part too.
Technically, it can be done.
It can be done.
But of course with a common understanding. Actually, in the first GGP, we actually accommodate that in the GGP through the concept of consortium. So in order for this scenario to happen, where students taking all this module from X number of institution, and finally only one institution will award the qualification, the degree or whatever. This has to be done in two ways actually. One is through the consortium of universities. So meaning that the students can take, let's say, a Bachelor of Management. So 5 universities that offer the same program will come together, and they will share. They will offer this. They will co-develop the micro-credential, and then they have a common understanding and agreement that the students can take any of this module from these 5 universities. But when the students want to take the highest qualification, the full complete qualification, then they can choose which university from these 5 universities in the consortium to get the final degree. And then they must take at least 30%. The condition is they must take at least 30% of the whole program from that particular university. Then only that university can award the qualification. Yeah. So it has to be through a mutual agreement and through some form of like a consortium. And the other idea, because it seems like this kind of scenario, people are thinking far, which is good. But I think we need to start something first in our own institution, then only we can think about this. The other way of doing this is through, at some point in time, we MQA envision, MQA and KPT actually, MOHE, Ministry of Higher Education, envision that we would have some form of kita panggil apa, credit bank, yeah,
Okay.
National Credit Bank. So
Okay.
where universities now can deposit their modules in this bank.
Mhm.
So can you imagine now, let's say 20 universities in Malaysia, private um, and public universities, offer the same program, Bachelor of Management. And this Bachelor of Management, of course, would be based on the same program standard, kan, under the MQF, right? So they will offer these modules, and they can apa? They can deposit the credit in the national bank, and students from all over Malaysia, they can take all this module from different universities. But when they want to get a degree, that is where we have not decided yet. Who actually will award the degree? So that one, I think we have not decided yet, because I think it's quite far. It's still quite far. We are actually envisioning. But as I said, even at a single institution, individual institution, we are not there yet. We are not there, not that far yet. Okay. So these are all good thinking, but not yet materialized. That's still in our dream, I would say.
Do we have any from the participants? I'm the one that asking questions. I'm
Tak
sorry.
apa. It's okay.
I-
Allow me to. Oh, ada. Is there a question? Allow me to move on. Then we can later on have more, because I think we have around another like 50 minutes. Okay. The ecosystem. Okay. Now we approach this. Let's say IIUM decide to do this at the institutional level. Right? I'm sure you are doing something already. But let's reflect on what you have done so far. It has to be, to me, ideally, if you want to embark on micro-credential, it has to be driven by the top management, top down. So it has to be driven by the institutional, and then cascade down to the department or faculty level. But start with looking at the big picture first. We need to set up or establish the ecosystem, so to speak, ecosystem. So micro-credential ecosystem, because we have to make sure all the players, who are the players? Okay, who are the players at the institutional level? The players from the top, who will drive the agenda, and then it will cascade down to the faculty or department level. And then on the ground would be the course developers, would be the people who will develop the program. But all these players, before they come up with a product, basically the program, the micro-credential program, before they come to this point, the management or the top management who want to drive this program, they must first decide what is the strategic goal that we want to achieve with this micro-credential. And they would have a timeline, okay? In short term, what we want to achieve, in the mid-term, long-term, and so on. So, and then they have to put up all the necessary support and enablers, okay, in terms of the governance. So you might want to have a committee, a steering committee, whatever, in terms of the business model, in terms of the infrastructure, the platform, what platform that you want to have you want to market your micro-credential, what kind of recognition in terms of digital badge, who will provide the digital badge, what kind of security, things like this. So all this, and what about the quality system? Because the moment you launch your program and make it visible to the world, the reputation of the micro-credential, the reputation of the university is at stake, because it can be it can really boost the image of the university, or it can really it can really spoil the credibility of the university. So that's why we need to spend more time on making sure all this will be in place. All these are already well thought of before we launch the micro-credential. So my advice is always don't rush into it. You make sure that everything is already in place and comprehensive, and every detail has been thought of. Yeah. Now, the roadmap. Okay. So this is the part which to me very important. The micro-credential roadmap. When you have the PowerPoint later on, and I have shared with you, you can actually click this link in the PDF, and will take you to another file. Here we can see the whole roadmap, how the institution can approach when they embark on micro-credential. So when you have a roadmap, then the chances to get lost or to go astray is less, right? But basically, what is the essence of this roadmap? Basically, you start with the top management set out the strategic goal. What exactly you want to achieve with this? This is always somehow overlooked. From my observation, when I ask the institution, okay, oh, are you doing micro-credential? Oh, yeah, we already have 30. So they just talk about numbers. But then when we look at what kind of micro-credential that they have already launched, they have already offered, then I realized that there is no clear strategy. It's basically standalone, and it's not really stackable into something more meaningful. And you must be very clear. Who is your target group? Okay, because this target group would determine the demand of your micro-credential. So you might have 100 micro-credential, proudly saying that you have the number 100. But then when we ask how many students taking your micro-credential, do you have takers? This is where that you realize people don't really buy your program. Because why? Because you don't actually do a proper market studies, demand studies, and so on. So I establish demand and identify the program. Then when you have decided what program that you want to offer, or you want to start off, then you have to find the right people with that can give full commitment, people that have the right skill, competency, and readiness, because it really requires a lot of it can be time consuming. So people need to really give commitment to develop the program. Then you have to decide the platform. What kind of platform? Like in USM, we use open learning. At UNITEN, also we use open learning. So we don't want to spend too much time thinking about what the platform is. So we use the existing platform, which is very good. And then we just focus on content development and the quality. So then after that, of course, this is the operational part. The strategic part, here, this is more on the strategic, and the rest of this is more on the operational part, where people on the ground, the workhorse would really focus on this, the unbundling, mapping, quality assurance, and then the business part. So these are people from the business unit will take over this part. They have to decide the business model. I have actually slides sharing with you some of the possible business model that you can use, because micro-credential, by and large, people embarking on micro-credential also for the purpose of income generation effort. Yeah. So let me just click this one and take you to this document. So the roadmap, yeah, the roadmap, strategic plus operational. So I have explained just now, define the strategic goal. You must really, the top management must be able to articulate the overall objective and strategic goal of Micro-Credential. They cannot just simply tell the people, okay, IIUM, let's do Micro-Credential. 2024, let's start with 20 Micro-Credential. This happened because I've been observing this in some of the universities when I was invited to, when I asked them. So they just talk about numbers. They don't have a clear direction what exactly they want to do this. Oh, let's develop the CPD program for professional pharmacists. The goal is to provide upskilling for the professional pharmacists. So let's work together with the partner. So in this case, Malaysian Pharmacy Society. Oh, let's develop a nursing CPD for nurses. Let's work together with the Malaysian with the nursing board as our partner. So this is very clear the strategic direction. What is it for? What's the purpose? What is served for? Yeah. Lifelong learning. Okay, let's do this for, let's say, a program for Micro-Credential for single mother, for example. Oh, why not? Let's do this program for the pensioners, like myself. We introduce about AI for pensioners, AI for how to earn passive income using AI for single mother, for pensioners. So this is a type of lifelong learning program. So identify the group. Who are they? Working people, school leavers. Who are they? Establish market demand. This is very important. If you are doing Micro-Credential for as part of the income generation initiative, then you must be very clear who is the whether there is a market demand, because otherwise you will invest the time and the money for the Micro-Credential and yet become just like MOOC. MOOC is actually for free. Yeah. Develop a competency framework. So you must make sure that the course developers, those people who will develop the Micro-Credential, have the necessary competency. Okay. Provide training and so on. And to me, a proper or a true Micro-Credential must be designed using this stackable model, meaning that although each module is standalone, but people have now the choice to put them together, bundle them together to get a formal or higher complete qualification. Course mapping and more. These are basically from 1 to 5. These are more on the strategic part. Okay, the designing part, starting from now, from 6. Course mapping and modularization, designing. These are basically the course level. The course level where we design the module. This the course itself, the delivery itself, the content. Yeah. Implement quality assurance, develop partnership and collaboration, launch the program, monitor and evaluate, and promote the program. So, okay, that's the whole roadmap. I hope this is clear. And I hope I have made it very clear to you the importance of having this big picture and the strategic roadmap for the institution. Start with this one first. And the rest, I think the same point that I have mentioned just now, the target group, identify the right target group. So we have school leavers, we have people require upskilling, people require reskilling. For example, let's say we give example of a computer programmer. The person has a Bachelor of Computer Science. But now this person now, the employer, or maybe he himself or she herself, want to upskill to add value to the basic degree, the basic qualification that they have. So the first degree, computer science. So maybe the person can look at, or the employer can look at some other qualification through the Micro-Credential program, skill based that would add value to the basic qualification to the. So in this case, in this way, their staff will have, always have the highest professionalism level and the skill level, and that of course would benefit the company or would benefit the organization or the institution. So reskilling, to learn other skill through micro-credential. I give example just now on Islamic banking. So this person maybe just degree in finance and maybe very little knowledge on Islamic banking, on different aspect of Islamic finance and so on. So they can look at for the micro-credential from reputable providers. IIUM offer micro-credential program on Islamic whatever. I don't know. I can think of Islamic banking and Islamic finance, but there are many things under that, right? A certificate in zakat, certificate in wakaf, whatever, okay? Maybe my example is not very accurate, but just to give you some ideas. And life-wide learners for single mother, for retired people, so that they can get new skill set, and at least they can spend their time to learn something new, okay? Then once you have established the demand, the market, the target group, and the strategic goal, then only you decide the program. Okay. A lot of the so-called pitfalls or mistake that people do, they just think of, okay, let's do this program. Hey, let's do this. Let's start our micro-credential with elective course. So, there's no clear direction. Don't make that mistake, okay? Decide the program after you have established the target group, the strategic goal, the group, the demand, and what exactly you want to achieve. Determine the level of capacity, okay? You want to start with one program. So do you have the resources? Do you have the people to develop, the course developers and so on? How much effort, how much investment that you're willing to put in terms of money, in terms of time? So all these need to be considered. So type of micro-credential is based on we can unbundle from the accredited academic program, or we can just design any so-called standalone based on the current demand, the current skill set needed, and it is not linked to any formal academic program. It can be done. So both, actually, we have the guideline, GGP guideline of good practices for both. So at the point where you decide, you want to do whether, do you want to start with bachelor degree program, master's program, or just any standalone program, you can actually look at the impact, and the effort. So for high impact program, but relatively low effort, so maybe you want to start with a professional development program, and this can be standalone, meaning that it's not related to any academic program, or can be unbundled from the academic program, but designed in such a way that it can be standalone. The undergraduate program is more challenging. Currently, I think only USM, as I know, maybe other universities, I don't know, that have this program with the industry to design the undergraduate program as another version in the form of micro-credential. Or you can also design for lifelong learning program. If you want to design also the program for micro-credential program for income generation, you can also offer your program on HRD Corp platform. But if you want to develop the program for HRD Corp as one of the training providers, because they also open to public educational institution. This, just be aware, these are the 24. I think then they have expanded this to 20 plus 26 or 20 something. These are probably but at least there are 24 skill areas. So you can look at, so these are the so-called, the kind of program that would have demand for institution or organization, industries that pay, they have to pay the levy to HRD Corp. And these are the area under HRD Corp. So you might want to tailor or to align some of these, especially the standalone micro-credential to some of these areas. And it's good to also, when you design your micro-credential program, try to have partnership, try to do partnership, and you have collaborators, okay? Meaning that IIUM can partnership with UNITEN, for example. Now I'm at UNITEN, okay? So we can co-develop the program together. And this actually can really make the development process faster because we can share. So let's say we can work on master's program. Master's, I think about what? Master's program is about coursework, coursework based coursework program, master's by coursework. How many credits? Master's 40, if I'm not mistaken, 40.
Back is 42.
42, 42, okay. 40, 40, 42. So let's say UNITEN, we work together with IIUM, just example. Then, on this, and UNITEN offer the same program. So let's say, okay, you develop 20, I 20 credit. Then we design the program, we agree that we can assign the tasks and so on. So that way we can actually get the best expertise from University A, best expertise from University B, and co-develop the program. We can shorten the time, and then we can use the reputation of both universities or the partnership with industry. Like many universities in US, they partner with Google, they partner with Microsoft, they partner with Cisco, partner with Amazon to co-develop the program. So these companies provide the credibility, more credibility to the program. Can you imagine if Stanford, that project, if I'm mistaken, yang driverless car tu kan, Stanford, last time lah, Stanford University, Professor Tran, they partnership with Google. So Stanford already have credibility, the branding, and Google, both very big name. Example, just now I mentioned USM co-develop we don't co-develop the program. USM developed the program for CPD for pharmacists. But we partner with Malaysian Pharmacy Society because, and they don't develop the program. USM developed the program, but they provide the endorsement and marketing. Because under MPS, they have 18,000 registered pharmacists. So they endorse the program, meaning that they agree and they will promote to their members. You can take a portion of the CPD from USM. So that way we have already what do you call this? A guaranteed or a sure market there. 18,000 registered pharmacists. Okay. This is an example. This program. Can you see? This in partnership with the Malaysian Pharmacist Society, MPS, certified training on immunization for pharmacists, a competency-based professional learning system, 804 modules. So when we partner with MPS, we have the agreement. If they are members of MPS, they will get 50% discount, which is 400 ringgit. But now can you imagine 400 ringgit per student per we call it student lah. Okay, multiply by 18,000. Okay, so you can figure out. So when you go to this, it's actually, you can see on the platform, I have shared the link to the USM Micro-Credential platform. When you go into the more detail, you can see the branding, logo, USM and MPS. This is their logo. It looks like a school badge. So jointly present USM and MPS, 800 ringgit, recognized by Malaysian Pharmacist Society. Delivered online, self-paced, start anytime. So it's flexible. And then the final part is basically on the development. So I have shared here the process workflow. This actually how USM previously when I led this program in USM, this is how we approach it. Okay, the usual project development, in this case course micro-credential development. So planning, development, QC, publish. So we start from here, the planning part, there's a workflow, then the development part by the course developer, then we have the quality process, and then there's a loop here. After the quality assessment, if it's not if the module does not fulfill or comply to the quality, the checklist, everything, then they have to go through the process. So we want to ensure before we upload to the platform, we want to make sure that the quality aspect has been cleared. This is actually the same thing, but more updated, and we have the timeline. The typical development of micro-credential take a few months to really get into the final product. And this is for the management team, those who in charge of the management part. Yeah. So as usual, we start from the strategic. So I have mentioned this a few times. What is your strategic intent? Okay. Target group, identify program, identify partners. Then once you have identified the program, you will go to the workhorse who will drive this. So, this is actually who are the drivers. So I'm using the model that we use in USM. Yeah? We have a steering committee chaired by the Vice Chancellor himself. The TNC is there. Then we have a working committee. Working committee, when I was in USM, my center was the secretariat. So we are the one who actually go on the ground and engage with the course developers. So this is a level where we engage at the faculty level. So the faculty level, they will identify the program after they have done the proper survey, market analysis, and so on. Then we have coordinators. We have coordinators from 26 PTJs, 26 faculties department in USM. And these coordinators are not simply chosen from anyone, but these coordinators are people who they have the skill, the commitment, and so on, that would ensure that the micro-credential at the department level or faculty level, they are the one who will take care of everything there, and they will work together with the working committee. And the development, so this is where the nitty-gritty, the tedious part, the unbundling, mapping, ensuring the quality, the student learning time, this is actually the course level or the module level. These are operational part. Then, of course, finally, we publish on the platform. We get feedback from the people who enroll in the program, and we refine So this is a kind of iterative process. Then support, of course, the whole ecosystem just now, support system, the enablers. So the capacity building, we have to train all the course developers, people who will do the quality process, quality assurance. They must also be trained how to do the quality check. Platform, incentive, what kind of incentive that we can provide to the course developers. Yeah. So this is part of the so-called rewards to kind of give them the to compensate for the time for working more, working over and above their normal duty. Marketing, so the business people will take over on the marketing part. So that's the whole kind of end-to-end management of micro-credential. So in this session, actually, I hope it's not really my intention to really go into the course level design, because that probably will take 2 days workshop, hands-on. Next week, no, the week after next week, I will do 3 days, full 3 days workshop, face-to-face with Polytechnic, Jabatan Polytechnic. Yeah. So this is where we focus on this. You cannot do this in just telling you how to do it in 2 hours. No. Basically, this has to be done hands-on, and you have already decided. You have gone through all this process. You have identified the program, and this program has been decided based on the target, the market demand, and so on. Then only we go through this. One of the common mistakes or the pitfalls, people just jump straight into this. Because the top management say, okay, let's do 50 micro-credential, and they want to get the numbers, they just go and develop. In the end, when they upload, after 1 year, no takers. Yeah. So these are basically the process. Again, the different type of stackable. These are maybe I don't have really time to explain, but the slides you can go through and you can read more. Basically, it's quite self-explanatory. You can develop micro-credential that is not very specialized, it's very broad, kind of broad-based knowledge, or you can design a micro-credential program that really provide a very comprehensive skill set, because it goes, every module actually would reinforce the skill, provide a very detailed skill set. So this is what we call vertical stacking. So if you want to develop very specialized kind of skill set, you might want to develop vertical stacking. If you want to provide more like a broad-based skill set, general kind of skill set, then it's probably the horizontal stacking. That's all. Then different way how you can combine the module. The thing is, once you get the, let's say, 3 credit course, accredited course into X number of modules, then you can do a lot of things based on your creativity. How you can bundle, you can mix and match different bundles to get a different kind of qualification. Very flexible. So we can go, these are all the different ways how you can do the stacking or the bundling. Yeah. So, and the stackable concept I have explained just now, and I've given a lot of example here. And I'm not going through this example one by one, but I will leave you with this slide where you can see different examples of stackable credential for professional development, for personal development, lifelong learning, for upskilling, for reskilling, some micro-credential for fast track kind of career path. Yeah, a lot of examples that if you spend some time to go through this, it will give you a clear idea, yeah, more clear idea to help you to decide what kind of program that you want to embark to start with. So this one just, yeah, one example of micro-credential program, we call it hybrid program from USM. This is actually master's program. And this master's program involves some lab, practical, laboratory, and clinical. Yeah, this might be relevant for IIUM, from those from health sciences, from medical school, pharmacy, pharmaceutical sciences. So the way they unbundle this 42 credits, those components that involve practical and hands-on and clinical laboratory and so on, they will do it face-to-face. Yeah. So this part, I think, mostly face-to-face. Then the theory part, content-based, they do it as online micro-credential. So there's a face-to-face, there is an online, and this online also, there are some asynchronized and asynchronized and also synchronized mode. Yeah. And this is how I borrow this slide from the team. This is how they design the workflow and also the milestone. Yeah. This very good team here at our IPPT group. How they develop the process, they are very clear, they have a very clear plan, and they stick to it, you know, the milestone and so on. Business model, finally. Very briefly, I have shared here some of the business model if when you want to market your program for income generation. These are some of the so-called how you can generate income from the micro-credential program. This business model, freemium model, subscription model. So you, for example, if you LinkedIn learning, LinkedIn learning, they call it. You can pay. You pay 20. If you pay monthly, I forgot. Last time I pay what? How much? 125 ringgit. Yeah, 125 ringgit monthly. You have access to thousands of courses on LinkedIn learning platform. LinkedIn, you all tahu kan, LinkedIn, the social platform. LinkedIn learning, the platform is called LinkedIn learning. So you pay 100, if I'm not mistaken, 125 ringgit monthly. Then you get access to all the courses on the platform. So this is called subscription model. Then you have a membership model. So example here, Arizona State University has an extension school that offers annual membership, providing access to over 50 micro-credential courses. Membership start at $600 per year. Or you pay per credential, per credit, or per module. Yeah. So there's several model here. Credit bearing model, challenge, exam, co-development funds. Okay. So the last two slides here are the challenges. Yeah, challenges are there. Challenges abound. For example, a lot of people still not very sure what and why of micro-credential. They get confused also what is micro-credential. And at the institutional level, lack of strategic direction, which I have reiterated the point a few times. Lack of strategic direction, they just jump into it and just develop, and finally the takers are not there. And to convince the people to embark on micro-credential. This is another thing that I think the management have to do. And the mindset, what we need actually, the people are, everyone is supporting this program because they now they have understood why we want to embark on micro-credential. Then they have to go through a training to get a skill set, learn how the tools that they need to use to develop the content, develop the course. Technical-based program. If you want to offer technical-based program as micro-credential, the challenge is you cannot offer as fully online. Just now the example from USM just now. So the lab, the practical part, the hands-on part, the clinical part has to be done maybe face-to-face. So it's kind of hybrid program. Another challenge is to create a seamless credit transfer framework. But now we have all these FLE, LPL, FLC, FLM especially, that should be able to facilitate on this one. Then of course recognition by stakeholders. If we don't do this in partnership, then we are not sure whether we can sell our micro-credential program. That's the reason, like in US, most universities are working together with their potential stakeholders. They're working with the industry, we are working with Google, Amazon, and various industries. Yeah. So finally, conclusion and takeaways. Micro-credential empower learners to assemble their own personal learning ecologies to support their individual learning pathways. Before developing micro-credential, get the first-hand experience, be a learner. This is one of my standard advice. If you decide to develop micro-credential, you must first experience not necessarily micro-credential, any online course. Yeah, experience as a student, experience as a learner, so that you understand when you now design your own course, your own module, you understand the perspective of the learner. When designing micro-credential, always think about the value proposition. What value you would offer when people take this module? They will pay 100 ringgit, 200 ringgit, 500 ringgit for the module. Of course, put ourselves in the students, in the learners' position. Of course, we want to get a value for the investment, the value for money. So you must, your micro-credential must offer a compelling value. Compelling value. Then only people would want to buy. Build a sustainable capacity. So capacity building. We must make sure that we have the resources, we have the people with the right skill set and so on, the right infrastructure, the ICT infrastructure, the bandwidth, the skill set, and so on. Work with credible partner. I mentioned this a few times already. Yeah, identify the credible partner so that it can give the credibility to the program, and then the partner can also help in terms of marketing, in terms of endorsing the program. Create an ecosystem involving key stakeholders for a successful implementation of micro-credential program. So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, my dear academics, thank you so much. I hope this 2-hour sharing has given you some ideas, provide you with understanding of the concept, the philosophy, the what and the why, and also the how of micro-credential, especially when we approach this as a strategic project for the institution. Yeah. So thank you. So you can get this is a link for you to download, or you can also use a QR code to download the PowerPoint, and feel free to share the PowerPoint with your colleagues, yeah, and your friends. So at this point, maybe I can pass over to the MC.
All right.
You
Thank you.
can open to Q&A lah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof, for the session. We do have one question from the chat
From the
box.
chat. Okay, let me check.
Prof, means that the course designer must think and conduct the user survey. Is that so? Before I believe the question will be before you want to create the micro-credential. Does that mean that
Yes.
Yeah,
The answer is definitely yes.
I see.
Yeah, before, as I mentioned earlier, that is part of the roadmap, kan? So before you decide what is the what kind of program, micro-credential program that you want to now develop, you must establish first who are your target group, who will pay for your micro-credential, who will take this. Are they from public? So for lifelong learning, personal development, how to bake a chocolate cake, for example, who will be interested to buy that kind of program, or how to become a science communicator. Kami kat UNITEN ni tengah nak buat program tu, ya.
I see. Okay.
How to become how to be a science communicator. Contohlah kan, siapa nak ambil program seperti ini? Kita kena we have to be very clear.
Dia kena bagi shot sendiri lah, Prof, senang itu.
Sorry?
Kita tak boleh shot sendiri lah, senang itu.
No, tak boleh short sendiri. Let's say you are very good in, let's say something kan. Let's say you are a professional photographer, for example. So if you want, now you want to offer this professional photography module, professional certificate in digital photography, for example. Okay, so you will develop the program as a set of 10 modules. So each module very specific skill. One module is about something, another module about something, but put together, if you complete 10 modules, you will get a professional certificate in digital photography. Who are the target group? The target group will be, let's say, photography enthusiast, photography professional, photographer yang beginner, or so those are the target group, very clear. So
the next question, the follow-up questions, I believe it is a follow-up question from the same participants. How USM conduct the user survey questionnaire? What is the approach or the best approach to do this?
Yeah, of course, the survey, the questionnaire would be naturally that would be the instrument that we can use. Another way, I take it as the same example from the School of Pharmaceutical Sciences in USM. They go straight, they know who are their target group, so they approach the MPS, Malaysian Pharmacy Society, and they get down to discuss. Then in this case, the target group is very clear, very specific. Those are the registered pharmacists, professional pharmacists. In the case of the nursing program, for example, they know the target group is nurses. About a few 100,000 nurses in Malaysian under KKM and also private. So they went to talk to nursing board, the Malaysian nursing board. But if you are targeting for, let's say, very wide audience, so you might want to do a proper survey to see, to gauge the demand. Let's say something quite generic, kind of certificate or advanced certificate in something. But there's no kind of specific group that you can, so maybe you want to do a kind of a general survey to see what would be the demand. Would there be a market for that?
All right. I think Madam Roswati, do you have a question? I see your microphone is on.
Yeah, I can unmute my microphone straight. Bagi senang,
Please just unmute the mic. All right, while waiting for others, maybe they are still thinking about the question. Can we have everyone presented today to turn on the camera so that we can take a picture for
Stop
today?
sharing.
Yeah. Nadira, are you ready to take the picture? We'll just remove the spotlight first. All right.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Prof, I do have one
Yeah.
question, Prof.
Okay, yeah.
Did our maybe Malaysia do we have plans to create a centralized website for this micro-credential, meaning that all universities, all the micro-credential being parked in one places. So whoever inside Malaysia, outside Malaysia, student from Malaysia or anyone, they can simply go to this one website and then they can choose the university first and then they can enroll. And then
Yeah.
towards the end, there is a mechanism that they can enroll to which university that will be graduating them. That meaning that there is no issues on who graduating who or certain kind of things. Just thinking about it lah.
Yeah. There's been a discussion
Hmm.
on that as well. That's the kind of how we envision micro-credential would evolve at the national level.
Yeah.
As meaning that there'll be a concerted effort from all the IPTs, the higher educational institution, including the polytechnic, college, community colleges, as well as the private training providers. So meaning that just like previously we have MOOC, so we have national MOOC platform.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now is
It is not
this
longer there.
only disintegrated, unfortunately and sadly.
Yeah.
But probably we won't have to have something like that. Currently, we don't have, and
Okay.
we are not sure yet who would drive this. Most likely would be Ministry of Higher Education, working together with maybe
MCS.
Ministry of Human Resources, maybe, but we're not sure yet. Probably this would be one of the things that would be discussed for our new education blueprint. So for your information, Minister of Higher Education now is working for the blueprint for higher education. The existing one would kind
Next.
of next year, 2025. So actually I've been invited also to be part of the so-called apa, expert pakar rujuk whatever they call it, expert person. So probably this would be discussed as one of the digital transformation or digital strategy for higher education. So to answer that question, yes, would be nice to have a common national platform where all the micro-credential program can be seen on that platform. So now as a user, as a learner, I can go there and I can take any micro-credential program, whether as a standalone program, standalone module, very specific kind of skill that I want to learn, or whether I want to take the full qualification in the form of certificate, advanced certificate, diploma, degree, master's even. I don't know whether it will materialize or not. As someone who is advocating for micro-credential, that is my dream. But whether it would be materialized or not, it depends on our institution, how much they are really into it. IIUM, you have so many good programs that you can offer as a micro-credential program. But whether you are willing to invest in it, that depends on.
Are you willing? Yes.
Yeah.
Agree to that, Prof. All right. Do we have any other questions from or any participants here? Because if not, I do have one last question from me myself, I believe. let me just ask my questions. When we talk about micro-credentials, most people thinking about creating videos. Everything is about videos. But the thing is, in content creation for micro-credential, it's not only limited to videos only. Meaning we can create maybe infographics, animations, and some sort of that. What will be some of your suggestion, some sort of any software that you have been used might be to create the previous content that you encounter before?
Yeah, good question. Apa ni, Dr. Aizan actually kan, memang betul. It's actually misconception tau. Misconception that when basically we are talking about operational already lah.
Yeah.
Operational at the development level, cost level, content level kan. Jadi yeah, I observe kan, why people are not very keen to develop MOOC, micro-credential online course lah, because in their mind, I don't know, I don't have the skill to create videos. The stumbling block is actually technical.
Yep.
To develop, create video. Perlu ke masuk muka dalam video or those things? No. This they are concerned. I don't know how to do video, how to create video. I don't want to spend time to learn. I don't want to spend hours to create video. No. Let me just say this. It's not just about video. Video only a small part of it. And now with AI, creating a video is just you write one prompt, then you can get a video.
Yes, Prof.
That one is I'm very excited actually to help people on the content part, on the content development or content creation. So, but I want to give a message here to everyone here. Don't get this content creation as a stumbling block. Especially now with AI, content creation now can be done easily.
Yes.
What's more important is actually the design part.
Betul.
Okay. How you want to design your course in such a way that you want student to learn certain skill. How you design that? And then the content come later, and it's not that difficult now to develop content. It can be a lot, it can be text-based, only some kind of few videos, very short video, like 1-2 minutes, 3 minutes. Then you have the activities. The activities part are the most important. Make it more very interactive, and we can design it so that it can be like using the concept of self-instructional material. So that when the learner go through, although you are not there, they can still learn independently and effectively. So hopefully this message is very clear. Content is not the biggest problem here. The biggest problem is actually the mindset. Not so much of the skill set. Here, the problem is here. That's why I said mindset. Then after that is clear, then the next thing only the skill set.
Yes.
The skill set, I can come in, I can help you on the skill part. That's where I'm most happy to help. And then the tool set, 3 things: mindset, skill set, tool set.
Yeah.
Once you have the skill set, you need the tool. This is where university can invest to help the people, facilitate them, invest on the tool, the software, the application. You don't expect the course developers to subscribe to all the software, right?
Yes, indeed.
So university, dia nak buat tapi dia tak nak invest.
Yeah, subscription sangat mahal. To be honest, authoring tool, consider like Articulate 360 itself. The subscription base is about 3,500 to 4,000 per year.
Wow, kalau university dapat invest on Articulate 360 tu,
I've been using it for 2 years when I working last time.
Kalau
So
articulate, sekarang ni kita ada articulate, dia package kan, dia apa ni, articulate apa tu, articulate,
storyline rise.
Rise,
Yeah.
articulate
Rise
storyline tu sebenarnya dah mudah sangat dah, tapi I don't think people want to, articulate Rise.
rapid authoring tool sangat cepat.
Ya, sangat cepat, sangat mudah dan very powerful.
So
Ataupun kalau gunakan open learning platform, open learning sekarang dah ada AI, dipanggil course builder.
I
I
see.
don't know anyone here have seen AI course builder dalam open learning. Wow, sama je, bagi satu prompt kan, you can create the whole course. You
Less than
masukkan tajuk course, masukkan learning outcome, masukkan chapter whatever that you topik yang you ada, masukkan semua maklumat tu, klik, you can create your 2 credit, 3 credit hours course in no time.
Yeah.
Kemudian you, of course lah, the heavy lifting, 90%, 80% of the heavy lifting is done by the course builder. Then you need about 20% effort je.
Betul.
To refine the learning activities, assessment, and so on.
I would say like cross check lah with whatever
Yeah.
to us. Yeah.
So apa lagi alasan? Tak ada alasan dah.
All right. Do we have any questions from anyone else before we call it a day? Since already 12:10 and today is Jumaat. Most of male participants to go for
Banyak lagi masa ni.
Yeah.
I would welcome question because this opportunity, and selepas ini I hope IUN can really go faster lah kan in terms of developing.
We are moving at our own pace, I would say, to be safe. Something to discuss later on lah, Prof. When I have the chance, I really want to talk to you because
itulah. So ada soalan daripada apa ni, sahabat-sahabat yang lain. Saya harap semua dah jelas lah ya daripada pembentangan tadi. So macam mana lepas ni rasa macam nak start buat Micro-Credential?
We have a lot of content creators sending out in their initial proposal. Their intent to create a Micro-Credential. We are scanning and looking through it, and hopefully we can work on it lah as soon as possible. So the idea.
Words of advice lah. Macam tadi saya kata, okay, it sounds like you are crowdsourcing, meaning that you kind of macam apa, okay, invite people, okay, those who are interested to do Micro-Credential, please submit your proposal. That's one way of doing it lah. Tapi yang itu kalau pada peringkat awal, at the early stage, when you just want to get people embark on Micro-Credential, and everyone can offer any kind of modules, that's okay. Just to get just to get people to do Micro-Credential. But that is not strategic. That's what mostly happen in many universities. And they are not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. So what you need now is to look at all those proposals and then see how it can be consolidated into a proper program, but this must have demand. Who are the target group, and who would have, where it would have demand. So this actually bottom up lah. I would say that better way is actually top down. So define your strategic direction first. Just like the roadmap tadi lah. So once it is clear, and then only you kind of barulah outsourcekan kepada siapa yang nak develop this. Macam tu. Otherwise kan dia jadi bila bottom up ni, masing-masing ikut dia punya ni, jadi macam shock sendirilah. Kan? I believe my Micro-Credential can sell. Okay lah, kalau dia boleh sell, tapi dia sell as a standalone lah. dia tak boleh dia tak ada learning pathway
Faham,
towards a bigger, dia tak ada stackable punya konsep tadi.
faham.
Dia tak ada stackable punya konsep. I hope this is clear, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Inshallah, for me, it's clear for me.
okay. Alright, good.
Alright, do we have questions or we should call it a day?
Itulah kali ketiga dah tu tanya tu.
Because I'm still waiting for if there is any question from the
Okay,
participants.
maknanya tak ada lah tu.
They're asking questions.
Maknanya tak ada lah tu. Kalau tidak berebut ni orang nak tanya soalan ni.
Alright, if there is the case, I believe it is safe for me to say we call it day. Let's end today's session with tasbih kifarah and surah subhanakallah hamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wal 'asri innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa tawassaw. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Alright, thank you very much, Prof, for this session.
My pleasure.
Hopefully I can meet you in person in near future, inshallah. Maybe I will try to set appointment with you somehow. I need to see you because I never met you in person.
Oh
So
yeah? Okay.
never met in person. We always met virtually. Hopefully I can meet you in person. Even though when I was back in USM as a student, I never had a chance to meet you there. So
alumni.
yeah, I'll
Okay.
listen. So yeah, thank you again, Prof. Have a
you.
good Friday, have a good weekend. Selamat Hari Raya lagi sekali. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Prof.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Assalamualaikum and have a good day, nice day, have a good weekend. Assalamualaikum.
wabarakatuh. Warahmatullahi.